This is my intro music. Welcome to the video. I hope you like it lots, so don't forget to subscribe and click the thumbs up button. Now let's react.
Hey, hi, hello there, and welcome to another episode of An Anthropologist Reacts to Amberlynn Reid. And... okay. First off, I got a new camera, can you tell? If the sound is slightly off, which I suspect it might be, my sound, not hers, it's because I'm still working on the timing with the new camera. If you're wondering what I'm using, I've got a GoPro 10. It's been a learning curve, so work with me. But no gray dot. So, alright, positive news aside. We're gonna watch this one. This is old tea. It's 2 days old at this point, and normally that's not that big of a deal in the Amberverse, but considering what's been going on lately, this is kind of lukewarm tea at the most part. Today is July the 29th. This video here was put out 2 days ago. The other thing that might happen is I may have a slight interruption while ranting, only because I have a live I've scheduled myself to do, so we will not get through this in time. But if I come back and I'm wearing a different outfit or the cat is no longer here, it's because there was a time lapse. Anyway. He's like, you're petting me wrong, Mom. Alright, we're gonna speed this up to... yeah, I mean, everybody's already seen this, right? Anyway, time and a half's more than fast enough. Alright, before we get too far into this, I would like to say that I have been to the farms. I have seen what the farms has to say about the whole Tommie situation and Amber and the whole... eater? Nope, that wouldn't work either. Federism? I don't know what I can say and still stay monetized. And basically, what we're dealing with here is one of the darker sides of the kink community, and feederism, and just in general, the whole kink thereof is not my cup of tea, to put it in a PC-ish way. I don't have a lot of positive things to say about it, so just, you know, I just want to put a bunch of this stuff forward as we go into this video, because I have a feeling I'm going to say some things that the community may not be with me on, but also I might just be worried that I'm being overly sensitive or something. I don't know. Anyway, my point is, I'm not into this thing. I think it's dangerous, but I do acknowledge that it is a legitimate... it is part of the kink community, you know? And it does usually involve two consenting adults. We can debate those definitions elsewhere. Do I think, personally, as an individual, that it is healthy and encourageable and something that I would ever participate in? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would actively encourage anyone thinking about this kind of a lifestyle to maybe rethink it, or talk to qualified professionals as to why you think you might want to be part of this community. For the main reason that the outcome often of two individuals participating in this is that one of them is no longer with us at the end of it. Preemptively, if one will. So, I don't know how much more coded I can be about that. We are going to talk about all the crap that people have dug up on Tommie. I'm going to call her Tommie throughout this because that's the name that Amber has given us, and that's just the name we're going to go with. Again, I have been on the farms. I spent 2.5 hours on it this morning. I really wish I hadn't, and my stance on this is going to be going forward. If it's something I can't find on my own via the internet and Google, I'm just going to have to be blissfully ignorant of it, because I am not returning to the farms for anything. There is nothing important enough for me to go back to the farms for, ever. It can be the cure for cancer. I'm not going back to the farms. Just so we're all aware of where I stand on that. However, I did spend 2.5 hours on the farms. And to be really frank with everybody, I don't honestly feel like there was anything that I saw on the farms that I could not have dug up myself. The difference is the farms had already done it for me. And though that was very nice and very convenient, I also don't think it was ultimately like, I don't think there was anything on the farms that I found that I felt that I needed to know that I could not have found myself. Now, I will be referring to things that I saw on the farms during this video because at this point I've been there, I've seen it, it's part of what I'm going to talk about, so pretending like I didn't go there is just dishonest for one, and ridiculous for the other. But, you know, just going forward, please understand, because there's always somebody in my comment section who's like, go to the farms! No. I'm not doing it. So, there you go. Oh man, all of that being said, a lot of what has been discovered about Tommie since the, 16-second video that Amber posted on her Instagram story, like, I don't know, man, 4 days ago now? 5 days ago? A lot of it has been very eye-opening. A lot of it has been very... On the one hand, a lot of it's been very eye-opening, and the other hand, a lot of it's been not that surprising. I think the stuff that I found most surprising about this whole storyline going on right now is actually about Tommie's partner before Amber. And in general, the timeline. And the timeline is something that I'm kind of discovering on my own. There was one person in the farms discussion that had mentioned something about it. And I had already been kind of thinking it myself, and then that person also picking up on it, and I was just kind of like, well, maybe I'm not crazy. Now, we'll discuss, I think maybe we'll discuss timeline in a slightly different video, only because I really need to kind of like write it out and hammer it out before I like commit to it. I'm still getting used to the new camera. But it doesn't look great. Another thing I want to say before we get too far into the video, I know I keep saying that, I have, as of right now, not watched any other reactors on this, including Mr. Snowflakes, Alex Sishuk, or The Ankle, or Katrina Kaboom. Now, I know all of them have videos on this because they pop up in my feed as a suggested video, so I know that they all have videos on this, and again, this is 2 days old, so obviously they were all on it before I was. I plan to probably peruse those after I do this reaction, but this particular reaction I wanted to do before I had everybody else's input, just because I want to make sure the opinions I'm putting forward are purely my own. So if there is some overlap, it is because we are all seeing the same pattern and not because I am repeating something I've heard from someone else. And I feel that shows a little bit more impact if you have multiple reactors who are not engaging with each other's material, saying the same thing. I think that's a lot more impactful than having a group of reactors who are all watching each other's stuff and then doing a reaction to each other's stuff. You know, that you guys see what I'm saying there? Anyway, my point is, I haven't seen anybody's stuff on this. I know it's out there. I haven't seen it yet. I plan to watch it. Hasn't happened yet. Will I make another video after I watch people's stuff? There is a strong possibility, because I feel like there will be things that other reactors have brought up or seen that I might want to address. All right. To be really frank with people, we don't need to watch this. I don't need to react to this video. I am purely doing it because of the premise of this channel, which is that we will watch every video that Amber puts out. I'm sure someday there will be a caveat to that, but right now, this isn't it. What else do I really want to say before we get too far into this? Well, all right. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button. I think what I want to do is watch this video first, get it out of the way, and then I will say my piece at the end of this, because I've already ranted for about 8-ish minutes here. So let's do this reaction first. We'll talk about things at the back end. I know for a fact that the downvotes on this video are astronomical compared to the upvotes, so I will say, though, it's got 87K views in 2 days, so that's really good for her numbers lately. All right, let's get going. Hi.
So I realized that I didn't record the sound for the video at this point, but I also figure people have seen this reaction enough at this point, and I think you can probably tell what's going on just from what I'm saying in reaction to her. Sorry, it won't happen again.
I like how she just, like, jumps in, because assuming that everybody watching this video knows what's going on. And that tells me that she is following us as much as we're following her. Because she does have a good number of followers who are not aware of what's happening right now, or aware of Tommie and all of the storyline there. So she at some point she does say she's addressing only a certain group of us. But anyway, let's keep going. I saw a lot of people talk about this here. I did see the initial reaction to this. Was it Snowflake's? Snowflake did like a 1.5 minute reaction to her gesturing off to the side. That's the only thing of his I've seen. Because a lot of people are saying that Tommie's still here. Again, these are things I picked up off the farm. Farmer is still here. Tommie is still here because Amber gestured off to the side, looked over there, and did this number. On the one hand, I understand why people might think that's what's happening, but I do want to kind of just put it out there that a lot of times when people are talking or subjectively, about a person or an event or something that is a distance away from them, not in the room with them, but like Canada's above me, right? So I'm looking and I'm gesturing above. Canada is not in the room with me, okay? Canada's up there. It's not really, but you get my drift. It could easily just be something like that, like she's mentioning my now ex, who is that direction away from me in Wisconsin or wherever the hell she lives, kind of a thing, right? It could also very likely be Tommie standing over there, and for whatever stupid ass reason, Amber can't control herself enough to not look in that general direction and gesture that way. I've watched this video twice, and I've tried to track her eye movements when she looks over in that general direction, and I want to say roughly about half the time she's looking at the same spot when she looks over that direction. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean that somebody was standing over there. It could just be that's where whatever it is that she's looking at, sometimes you fixate on an object in the distance. It could just be where her fixation object is. That direction, this overall direction when she's over here, tends to be her making shit up zone, but her eyes stay up here. The direction of her eyes stay up in this here. When she's making shit up, her eyes usually drift down into this area. All right. So I would say if she's up in this area, she's probably recalling something. And if she's down in this area, she's probably making shit up. It is entirely possible there's somebody off screen in this general direction that she's looking at, because this is her kitchen area, and the kitchen counter thing is like further that direction. So, I mean, I know the overall layout of this room right now. It's entirely possible. It could also be that her mom was there and her mom had been having this discussion, and she was like reconfirming with her mother that yes, this person is my ex. It's like that. I guess my point is there's a number of reasons why she could have made that gesture and why her eyes could be drifting in that direction. What I would really need to do, and I've never thought to do it because it's never come up, is to see how often her eyes drift in that general direction throughout her normal videos. When we know there's nobody there, or we assume there's nobody there, that would be the big confirmation. But she does look over in that direction a lot. About half the time her eyes do seem to be focused in the same point, but the other half of the time her eyes do seem to be in that level, but not necessarily on the same point, if that makes sense. I I just want to have everything out there because the reality of the situation is we don't know if Tommie's still there or not. Okay? It wouldn't make sense in my head for her to be there. She does have a life and a job in her own state where she lives, which I unfortunately know that now. So for her to just chill and hang out at Amber's apartment time on end makes no sense because she has a job. She has to go back to work at some point, right? She apparently has a full ass family over there. She should probably, I would assume she'd want to see some of them at some point. So that's kind of my take on it. But again, it's entirely possible that she is there and Amber's a dumbass. Weirder things have happened, you know, like the fire alarm magically stopping beeping in the middle of a recording that Amber's doing where she's totally there by herself, you guys. Okay, see, that right there was she looked over that direction. Can I get it? Her eyes here are in the same spot that they were when she looked over and gestured. I'm not going to point out every time this happens, but it does happen frequently. So I just want people to be aware that I do see it. So it is suspicious. It's not rock solid confirmation though. I don't know. Maybe she's got a picture of Tommie over there and she keeps looking at the picture. I don't know. No. No. That's my hamburger. No. 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 I love you. No. 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 I'm gonna lose my hamburger, you guys. More. See, here she's not looking in exactly the same spot. So this one I'm like, I don't know. I really am not going to pause on every one of these. This is just a coincidence. Amber is convinced that we want to see her miserable. And I'm not saying that there aren't some people who apparently do want to see her miserable, especially going off the shit I saw on the farms. But the majority of the people that comment on her videos, I don't think that's true. Do a lot of people not like her? Yes. Do people want to see a dark end? No. Nobody really wants to see the train wreck, like the literal train wreck. They're just kind of here for it. But a lot of people are trying to help her in the only way they know how. And she's fighting it. Again, I'll hold my thoughts until the end of this because I think she's 100% aware of Tommie and Tommie's likes. I don't love seeing her miserable, especially since 9 times out of 10 she's the one making herself miserable. Like, you kind of do this to yourself, girlfriend. Also, let's talk about her expressions through this entire thing. A lot of people are talking about how, you know, she manages to sniffle and scrunch up her face and squeeze her eyeballs and never squirted a drop of a tear out. Apparently, this is just something I've learned, again, from the farms. And I looked it up because I was curious. Apparently, obesity contributes to dry eye, which can actually block your tear ducts. Like, the fat will block your tear ducts and you can't cry. Reasons not to be obese. So it's entirely possible she literally can't cry. We know that's not completely true because we've seen her full on bawl and like tears running down her face and all that. This is not one of those situations. Another reason why this video is coming off so disingenuous to a lot of people, not only because we know Amber's a big faker her fakes, her face here, we're not going to lose anything if I skip some things. All right, see, she's expressing an emotion. It doesn't reach her eyes. Now she's looking over in that spot again. I didn't mean to pause on this, but she's looking over there again. You see how her eyes widen just a tiny bit? See, that's a genuine face of sorrow, but... Oh, there was a tear. She squeezed a tear out. There it is. One. Just there. Oh, there's another one. It's on the other eye. She's got 2 tears, you guys. 2 tears. Have you guys noticed that when she does cry, her eyes are already kind of sunken and dark anyway, but when she does cry, the dark circles tend to get a lot darker. And I don't know if that's because the dark circles are getting darker or if it's because her cheeks actually get red and the red makes the dark circles pop more. I have a lot of room to talk about eye bags, so. Look, here's the thing. Assuming Amber does watch my videos, which I have some reason to believe that she does. Get off the internet. Just seriously, I realize that this would actually be a semi-blow to my account if you were to just stop posting, Amber, but stop posting. Get off the internet. This is your only way out of this sort of situation. Stop. But you're as addicted to the internet as you are to food, so we both know that's not going to happen. Here she is in her, like, vamp. She's talking faster than she's thinking. Here's the thing. Amber could clarify all of this. Amber could clear this up and, well, she could try to clear this up. It has happened in the past that there has been bad information from the farms about people in Amber's lives. Anyway. So it's plausible that some of this information could be completely off mark. I think just going over the documents as I was looking at them, or the posts as I was looking at them on the farms, apparently they originally had the wrong person and then they caught up with the right person. Right? Which is going to happen when you've got that many people looking. But Amber could try. It's the same thing that happened with her mom, which is the one I'm talking about. Amber could have called the courts, cleared everything up on her own, shown the court documents, explained why things were not the way that they appeared to be. Amber could have done that herself, but it took someone else to do it for her that she then thanked but accused of being a troll anyway. I guess, maybe, but they did you a favor, so you could at least have been nice. That's not happening here, because apparently every time somebody tries, well, they're not trying to help her out, every time people dig into Tommie's background, it's only confirming what people have been saying. So, and that includes research that I did on my own. Thank you. Confirming that, yeah, Tommie's a feeder. Tommie was on a feeder site. Tommie was looking for feedees. I don't know what you want, Amby. Like, what do you want? You know? So, if you don't want people thinking that's the story, then you have to clarify for us. And you and Tommie are the only 2 people that can do that. So your options are drop off the internet, which I think is an excellent idea. Clarify the story. I don't think that'll help too much, but at least you'll have your version out there. Or STFU and move on with life. Oh, darn. Is that a good thing? Like, don't threaten me with a good time. Like, what? I'm never going to be the same. So you're going to start dieting and exercising and taking your health seriously? Because I don't really see you changing from this. I see you moping and doing what you always do. A truly long time. Because I met this girl for a month. Okay, and the timeline is kind of scary. I'll talk about that when we get to the end of this. All of the stuff I saw on the farms, we can debate on if it's doxing or not. But of all the stuff I saw on the farms, I didn't see anything that resembled a physical threat. Or I saw some people saying that they were calling the place or trying to get Tommie's, I guess Tommie's a RN or something, and they were trying to get Tommie's license revoked. I think that's a little shitty. You can argue with me if you want. But as far as, like, safety? I don't know, man. I think that's stretching it a little. But it's Amber. Amber's always going to try to make her haters sound like the absolute worst that she can, which is, again, this is part of the power play. Amber's trying to turn the audience that does support her against the part of us that don't support her, which is fine. That's the way of the world. But I didn't see anything resembling a call for harm at all. As a matter of fact, the one person who said that they were actively trying to get the RN license revoked, I saw 2 people respond to that person, basically telling them to F off. So that's not even a popular opinion on the farm. So there you have it. Or at least it didn't appear that way to me. I guess my point is I can see how this is a massive invasion of privacy and definitely would probably make you not feel safe, because I know I wouldn't want that. But as far as, like, her overall actual safety, I don't really see anybody doing anything that would jeopardize that, I guess, is kind of my point. I don't know. Amber likes to be hyperbolic, and this is one of those moments, I feel. And I can't believe I just defended the farms, but I did. Yeah, you shouldn't have, because you know your audience, Amber. There is no way in hell she doesn't know the farms exist. There's just no way in hell. She knows every single one of the Reddits that exist, including the ones that have been taken down. She knows all of the Facebook groups. She knows these places exist. There's no way in hell she didn't know the farms existed, right? You should know this is what's going to happen. Oh my god. Oh my god. You're a mess. Oh my god. One of the things I was talking about earlier and I wasn't catching as well as I was hoping to catch is this reset face that she does. She just goes blank. You know, I've talked about April Lauren and how when April Lauren's facial expressions reset, she looks very sad. And when Anna from Glitter and Lasers, when her facial expressions reset, she just looks perpetually pissed. Amber looks blank. She's just blank. There's nothing there. And this is one of those moments where she resets. And so that's why a lot of people, like, find her emotions so performative and disingenuous, because she'll express them for like 5, maybe you'll get a whole 10 seconds, and then she just goes blank. And it's just a complete reset, and then she goes to a new set of expressions for her next emotion. It's not a natural flow between emotions. And we will be right back. Okay, we are back from quite a bit of a pause, actually. I had a live that was scheduled, and I went and watched, talked with my wonderful, wonderful subscribers and members over there, and then Mr. Snowflake went live with a video pretty much confirming that someone else is thinking the same thing I was thinking. And again, I'll go over it at the end of this because it's a lot. And like I said at the beginning, the fact that, well, I'm sure many of us, but at least 3 of us now have independently come up with this timeline tells me that this timeline's pretty evident. Which, let's finish reacting to this so I can talk about it more. And then I will definitely try to get this video up tonight. But, onward!
My words don't matter to a lot of people, or the way that I feel. They never have.
Your words matter, Amber, because your words are usually what give you away. The things that you say and the way that you say them typically are how people figure out your lies, or in this case, a timeline. You're terrible at keeping shit to yourself because you try to be clever with your words and you're not.
Mattered. People watch me to just laugh at me and to hate me, and I'm realizing, like, people just want to ruin my life, and it worked. So people literally just don't think before they post. They're fucking just hungry for the next drama, the next thing to make me look bad or to make someone I love look bad. Like, that's just what they're waiting for. And when they thought they found that, they turned it into something way bigger than what it really is. And you guys, again, do not know the full story. And it's sad, but you never will. I really don't know what else to say. Besides,
Here's the thing. We may never know the real story, but we are all smart enough to figure it out, whether she wants to believe that we are. Amber thinks she's smarter than everyone else. And that's what this is all about. Look at that dead-eyed stare. Amber constantly is trying to outwit her audience. And it doesn't work.
I kind of just feel defeated and hopeless, and I'm absolutely heartbroken. Like, it's just the worst feeling in the world to go from being so fucking happy and, like, so sure of my feelings and my future to have that just ripped away from me over something that I didn't even do. Like, that's, like, the hardest part.
Oh yeah, I forgot that just ends. Alright, good. We're done. Let's talk about my theory, because it's not great. The timeline is the issue here, and as I stated before, I'm not the only one who saw it. Mr. Snowflake just got done premiering a video on his Mr. Snowflake's channel, basically going over the timeline as I was putting it together. And he mentioned that he saw that Karina Kaboom was also putting this timeline together the right way. And if you go over to the farms, again, I'm never going back there. But if you head over there and you see, there's at least one other person over there who is putting that timeline together as well. So this is something that is fairly evident and is getting picked up on by multiple people. And now that Mr. Snowflake's put his video out, there's going to be a lot of people who see it. But one thing I do want to caution everybody about before we get too far into this is that none of this is proven. It's all conjecture. So, but as Mr. Snowflake said, the coincidences are a lot. So here's the thing. Tommie had a friend, Tommie's ex-girlfriend passed away around April the 11th. And as per the timeline that I understand it at. Amber put out a video. Okay, how to put this all together. Snowflake does a much better job of this than I do. Y'all remember when Amber very first moved into her apartment and she was talking about this person who was sending her, I think they sent her a plant, they sent her a lamp to put together, and I feel like there was like a third gift that came separately. Anyway, so this person was sending her gifts after she had already moved into the new apartment, but she was sending them like almost instantly after Amber had moved in. And at the time, I was like, this person would have had to have known where Amber was moving before Amber even got there in order to be sending those gifts in the time that she was sending them, right? So we know that Amber was talking to somebody before Jade dropped her butt off in Oklahoma and was like, peace, I'm out. We also know that she fell in love with some new girl that supposedly ticked Jade off, and so that's why Amber and Jade couldn't get back together, is because Amber hurt Jade by falling in love with a new girl, right? We never found out who this person was. And we never knew who the person was who was sending gifts. There was lots of speculation, up to and including Amber was buying these things for herself. Perfectly reasonable. So, skip forward some time. Amber starts talking about a girl that she's got a crush on, but they can't be together because the other person's life is very complicated, and it just wasn't going to work out for that person because of the complications in that person's life. And then at some point, that complication or whatever released, and I can't remember if Amber was claiming that she was talking to a new girl or what, but suddenly Amber was once again in love and talking to a new person. And remember, people were asking her, how can you be in love with somebody you've never met? And this person evolves into Valentine. And everyone thought that this might be Alexis, because at the same time that Amber was talking about Valentine, people started catching on to Amber and Alexis passing messages back and forth on Facebook, I believe. Oh, I'm so old. Anyway, the point is, people, as they do, started digging into Alexis because that's what happens. Amber knows this. And so we all thought that Alexis was the person that Amber was talking to. And Amber was adamant that it was not. Alexis was adamant that she was not. But we still had Valentine, right? And then suddenly we break up with Valentine. And then we have Tommie. Right? And Tommie, she's dated Tommie for a month. And they're in love with each other. And they're gonna... Remember, her and Valentine were supposed to move in at the beginning of August. And now Tommie and her were talking about moving in together because there was the U-Haul lesbian joke that Amber posted on her Instagram stories. So there's been some speculation that Tommie was Valentine. I have always said, and I will stand by, the person that was Valentine that Amber broke up with did not exist. Valentine, as we broke up with Valentine, did not exist. However, somebody started off being Valentine, right? I've always said that. So I think now that I'm really putting all of this together, and you really look at it, and you step back, and you look at all the red strings and all the pins in the board, it's kind of a straight line. And it's a straight line to Tommie. I think Tommie's been the same person this entire time. I think Tommie is the person that Amber was talking to before she moved to Oklahoma. I think Tommie is the person that was sending Amber all of the move-in gifts, you know, the plant, the lamp, some other shit. I forget what it was now. And other gifts. It does kind of, like, Tommie hypothetically could have afforded buying a $400 Lego set for Amber. I still don't know if Tommie did. But it's not outside of Tommie's financial capabilities, I guess is where I'm going with that. And we have always speculated that Amber had to break up with Valentine in order to start the new love story because Tommie didn't want to be Valentine, basically. Tommie wanted to be Tommie. So the timeline just works. Now, the really disturbing parts of the timeline start popping out. And this, I will credit this to Karina because Mr. Snowflake says that that's where he got it from. I have not watched the video that Karina pulls this out of, and I'm terrified to watch it. But Tommie had a girlfriend before Amber, we know this, and that person passed away due to obesity-related issues because they were 1,040 pounds. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. So I guess good on you. Remember, this person was part of a feeder community, so it's not like this person was tied to a bed and force fed up to this weight. This person grew to this weight happily on their own. Tommie was their girlfriend for, I believe, 15 months. So the last 15 months of their lives, these two were dating, right? Amber says that Spanx Beluga, there's so many moving parts here. Spanx Beluga was contacted by Tommie not weeks before Amber and Tommie started talking, but months before, which would have made it so that Tommie was hitting on Spanx Beluga while their partner was still alive. And if you follow Karina's math, which there's no reason not to, that would also if you follow my math, putting Tommie and Amber talking to each other before Amber even moved to Oklahoma here. I don't live in Oklahoma. Anyway, my point is, they would have been talking while Tommie was dating or was with her ex, who I believe his name is Colleen. So not only were Tommie and Amber talking before Colleen passed away, but Tommie was also hitting up Spanx Beluga while talking to Amber, and also while being in a relationship with her deceased ex. Now, the math that Karina does that is the most disturbing, and again, this is hers that I'm learning secondhand through Mr. Snowflake, who I have no reason to doubt, is where I'm going with that one. The date that Amber says Valentine and I are official, that day, was 6 days after Colleen passed away. That's how that math would line up. And as Mr. Snowflake explains it in Karina's video, and we remember this because Karina had mentioned it in a different video that I did happen to peruse, that there was a date on a drink that Amber was having. I think it was the bubble pop drink that she was having. Why do we remember these little details? Because these are details that are important. Anyway, so I'm believing it's that one, and Amber was trying that drink, and from that we were able to determine, or Karina was able to determine, that the date that the video was published was 6 days after it had been filmed, or at least that clip had been filmed. And according to Amber, all of those clips were from the same day, so that day was 6 days before, or 6 days after Colleen had passed away. And Amber and Tommie were official. Excuse me. And Amber and Tommie became official then. If these timelines are true, which again, I really want everybody to kind of take everything with a giant grain of salt, please. If these things are true, it creates a really dark timeline. And it really doesn't look good for Amber. I mean, it's not a good look for Amber. Right? And like I said, I'm not the first person to come up with this timeline. I don't remember Mr. Snowflake talking about the person sending Amber gifts or the person that Amber was talking to when she moved to Oklahoma, but I think that's my only contribution to this whole story here. But again, I started to see this pattern. There's at least one person on the farms who was seeing this pattern. Karina saw this pattern. Mr. Snowflake saw this pattern. I'm willing to bet when I get to watching some of the other creators, if they themselves do not see the pattern, it'll click when they see other people. I wanted to do this as uninformed as humanly possible, but I also didn't want to miss the premiere, so I'm trying to be upfront about these things as much as possible, but if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a goose. No, I'm kidding, but you get my drift. And that is the very dark note that I wish to end this video on. So if you have made it this far in the video, go ahead and leave a... If you've made it this far in the video, go ahead and put a camera down in the comments section for the new camera, because so far it seems to be working okay. We'll find out. And yeah. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Yeah. I know this one ended badly. We have not heard from Amber since her broken-hearted video. Anyway, now that every alarm in the house is done going off. I know this topic was really dark. Again, if you've made it this far, go ahead and leave a camera down in the comments section down below. I can't remember what else I was trying to say before every alarm went off. So thank you everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button or the thumbs down button. I could understand completely why you might do that. And basically, yeah, I will see everybody in the next one. It probably won't be an Amber video, though, because God only knows when she's going to come back. And as I said earlier, Amber, if you watch this, and assuming you make it this far in the video, get off the internet. Just stop. It's time to stop now. It's time to stop now. All right. See everybody in the next one. Bye.
This is my outro music. You can't copyright strike me because it's just me singing. This is my outro music. Thank you for watching. See you next time.